tonight. I'd like to start with a bit of an apology. I'm very, very sorry that, as you can see, I am not John Boyega. He's a very important international movie megastar, though. He's got a lot of local drinks reappearing tonight, so he had to hit. Instead, you've got me. My name is Ebya Jones. I'm a journalist for The Guardian and Empire magazine. I'm a co-host of Serene Shot on BBC Radio 4. I promise I'll do my very best. And I always jump at any chance to support this film, Bobi, the People's President. As you know, having seen it, from the courageousness on display in this film, it really is the least we can do, those of us who are not involved in the struggle on the ground. So please join me in the immense honour that it is to welcome to the stage two very courageous people, Bobi Byononese. Feeling that as well. When we met Bobi, it was back in July, and it was supposed to be another Q&A for this incredible film. Chris Sharp, the co-director, and the producer John Batsek, and at that time, you weren't able to make it into the country. We were very sorry not to have you there. So we dreamed of this day, and now it's here. So I just wondered if you could start by just telling us a little bit about what happened and why weren't you allowed in the country and how has that been overcome?
Well, I was not able to come to the UK for the last 10 years. I was last year, 10 years ago. I'm glad to be here. Thanks to my lawyer, Tayyip, my friend, colleague, and our brother, Christopher Sharp, and the entire team, our legal team. I'm finally here. Thank God.
Right back to the beginning. Whose idea was it to make this film?
Christopher Sharp should be blamed for this film. Yeah, it was Christopher Sharp. I'm a musician. I was a musician. I was hired to perform at his daughter's wedding. And we had a conversation. I had just been elected into Parliament. That was my last performance as an artist and the first performance as an elected leader, and it started everything, and here we are. So it was Christopher Sharp's idea, not my idea at all.
And were you guys difficult to persuade? How did you feel, Bobi, when you heard that someone wanted to make a movie about your lives?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Extremely overwhelming and very humbling to see a full house today. So I was lucky to be on the team that went for this wedding. So I was there when Chris spoke about this idea. We were at this hotel, seated at the balcony, on a chair, on a table with 4 chairs. There was Chris and his son, and there was me and Bobi. And Chris was telling us that he would have a small camera following our normal usual lives. And he doesn't know what he would later do with the footage. But he said, I think it is interesting, guys, so don't mind the camera, it will just follow you. If something comes out, it will come out. If it doesn't come out, it's okay. So he made it seem very small. But look where we are.
That's why I said he should be blamed.
Yes, fully blamed, yes.
And how was it? Did you, eventually forget that the cameras were there, or were you always very aware of their presence?
So in the beginning, it was hard to convince me. because I love our lives enclosed. I love to choose what I show the public. Like, you want to micromanage everything. Naturally, that's what I was, not anymore. Then along the way, we forgot the cameras were there. We lived with Moses for a long time that we got convinced that he is part of our family. To the point that when he left and the shooting was done and the cameras were off, the kids were asking, where did Uncle Moses go?
This is Moses Boy, the
Moses Boy, yes. So we were not intimidated by the camera along the way. It became part of us, we forgot about it. And that's how we managed to have all those intimate moments.
So I think one of the things that touches me most about this film, and I know it takes place, of course, on this international political scale, but at its core there's this really beautiful love story, which is your marriage, just really inspiring. And I guess I wondered, how central do you think, or is it related at all, your marriage and your relationship to your political work in your campaign?
What can I say? We just lived life. We just did us. Of course, it communicates. We believe that in many ways we inspire many other young couples, although now we're not a young couple anymore. But we inspire young marriages, but also because we strongly believe that humanity is a two-way thing, the men and the women. And in our struggle, for a long time, it has been put on men. But we have, over the years, discovered that women are just as important, in fact, more important in this our struggle, and that brings out
it seems like you guys are totally on the same page. I just wondered, were there ever points, Barbie, where you were kind of behind the scenes saying, I don't want you to run in this election, or I don't want you to go to this event?
So, it began in 2017 when he chose to stand for parliament. I must mention that he called me in the night at around 11 p.m. and told me that he was going to run for MP on the phone. So I heard other voices in the car, and I just composed myself and said, you know what, honey? Come on. Just come on. By the time you reach here, maybe you'll have changed your mind. He came home very excited and said, have you seen there is a vacant space for MP in our area? I am standing. I said, okay, you've never misled me, let's go. By the time we got to the presidency, I had seen that he was right for this, and that he had been positioned for this, and that it was his calling. So my job as a wife was to support, and I just did the best I could.
Do you think you knew what you were getting yourself into when you married him? I love, by the way, that you met on this play called Lady Will You Marry Me? Did you know what you were getting yourself into? Was he always this guy, or has he kind of changed?
I had not followed the past opposition presidential candidates. I did not follow Chizalesi closely. I was so out of politics, I did not know what we were getting ourselves in. No, I did not. But along the way, do you know how you're thrown in the swimming pool and then in the middle of swallowing a few water gulps, you remember, oh, I have to swim. So yes, we just found ourselves in this, and I said, come on, we're stronger than this. We can take this on. Why not?
Sharks upon swimming, baby.
Yes, so yeah, I don't know what we're getting ourselves in. But if it is not us, then who is going to do it?
This is such a powerful film. I must again congratulate Michelle and Moses Breyer and John Batzik and the whole team. It really moved me. I've seen it several times now, and each time I'm just really roused to action. But I want to know what it's like for you to watch this film as the stars of it, for want of a better word. How did it feel the first time you saw it?
The first time I saw this film, I had never seen it before. So when I saw it, my first reaction was a big disappointment. I felt like, and I complained to the producers and the directors, because according to me, this film was so kind to Gen.M7. It made him look like an angel. Not even a small percentage of the brutality is shown in this film. It might come off as so brutal, but this is just a small fraction of the brutality. And I complained, and the directors explained to me that they could not show all the medieval violence. It would turn off the audience. So yeah, but again, I've watched it many times, and every time I watch it, I see something new. Many times when I watch it, I cry quite a number of times. I'm sorry to those who believe I'm strong. Yes, I'm strong, but not enough. I noticed something. I say, okay, now this one died, this one disappeared, this one nobody knows where she is, this one sold out. So many things that I see. Up to now, I see something new every time I watch it.
And what about you, Bobi? Has any part of the reaction to this film surprised you when you watch it with an audience in particular?
So I had the opportunity to watch the film. At first it had 2 parts. So I came for my graduation for my master's in human rights. And when I came here, after the event, I went to Christopher's house and I watched the 2 portions. And I said, how are you going to have us glued to this part 1 and part 2? And he said, no, they won't be 2 parts. It's going to be 1 film. And then I felt cheated. I said, wait, that means there's a lot that's going to be taken out and thrown away, just like he said. Immediately I felt like, they are not going to show everything. But he told us he would make sure everything is shown. And I was satisfied with what came out as a final piece. Because they are the experts. They brought it out in the best way, the sound, everything. But what surprises me is, even after watching this film several times, every time I watch it, I see something new. It's a masterpiece. They did a very good job.
Parts of the film that really stays with me the most in terms of thinking about afterwards, and it's actually quite a quiet moment. It's when you're in the car in Washington, I think, and you reflect on how Mussolini was your favourite revolutionary. You know, and you realize later, where did it all go wrong? And we know that power corrupts. How do you guard against the corruption of your soul? It's very intoxicating to be so beloved, to have so much attention. How do you make sure that that's not going to be the same thing for you?
That's a very important question, because it scares me to think about it. Museveni was my once favorite revolutionary, and it disturbs me to imagine how he degenerated into that. I mean, at my age, he said exactly what I'm saying, only more eloquent. How do we guard from that? Is by beginning by telling everybody that I'm not here to save you. I'm not your savior. You are your own savior. I don't want you to believe in me. I want you to believe in yourself. And also, we want everybody to be part of this, so that if we are to liberate ourselves, we do it as a whole, so that nobody ever rises up to say, oh, I liberated you, so I deserve to rule over you. And also, we want to empower not an individual. We should never have another strong man or another superman. We should have strong institutions that can prevail over all of us, because all of us have our human weaknesses and can only be, reigned over if we have strong institutions. Yeah.
Another part of the film that I'm personally very affected by, and I'm sure a lot of people are, because I'm a parent, I have children as well, is all of the parts really when you're home with your children, especially the bit when you get back to America and you're sort of talking yourself around to this idea that I'm with my children, so it's going to be okay, even though we're in this unsafe situation. I I think it's very clear for everyone to see how being a parent complicates your work and the struggle because you have to have ability. But I think talk a bit on how it's inspiring as well to be a parent and to have children be responsible.
Yeah, I really don't like to see my children experiencing this. And indeed, Bobi and I tried so much to shield our children from this until we eventually were forced to accept that this is our reality, and the sooner we open up to our children, the better. So since then, I agreed not to hide anything from our children, because so many times I was taken to prison, and then she had to lie to our children, and then when our children are at school, their friends are teasing them, their father is in prison. So for my children not to grow up thinking their father is a criminal, we had to open up to them and tell them why I'm always in trouble and why it is moral for me to go to prison for the right things. So ever since we started telling our children the truth, interestingly, they stand by us. They grew up much faster than we expected. So now they are adults in thought, although they are children in age. Yeah.
It's such sweet, spirit and lovely children that comes across a lot, and congratulations on that. You must be very proud of them. Do you think in another life and another time, if you were born in another country maybe, or in Uganda at a different time, you would have been content to just be a musician, to do that with your life, or do you think you would have always felt called to something beyond that?
Yeah, unfortunately, the reality is that there will never be another life. And I'll never belong anywhere else. If I could, I would be happy to be an artist. I miss myself. I miss my life. I don't like this that I'm doing. I don't enjoy it. But I have to do it because it's a calling. And like Bobi said, if we don't do it, who's going to do it? So we chose to jump into it and do it.
This is for both of you, because I see it in both of you. Where do you think this courage and resilience that just blows my mind, and I think it does a lot of people watch? And where does that come from? When you're suffering these beatings and this oppression and these threats on your life, how are you motivated, inspired to carry on?
It's not courage. I don't want to brag that we are courageous. No. We're just desperate. We are just out of options. Trust me, if we had an option, we would jump at the easier option. But, like Mandela told us, that courage is not absence of fear. It's just the ability to overcome that fear. We start by pretending to be courageous. Somehow we end up being courageous. Yeah. It comes from the love. It comes from looking at ordinary people that are even more courageous than us. I'm not saying we are not the heroes of this film or this story. No, the real heroes are those unknown men and women that are little known, that have little protection, little, they're little known, but they risk their lives. Many of them go up to the level of paying the ultimate price. So looking at them, every time I'm scared, I look back and there are hundreds of thousands of young people saying, let's go. Somehow, courage comes and we move. And before long, we have skipped that hurdle. So that's how we keep going strong. Everybody?
Yes, so this president of ours told us that that's right. Our president told us that each one of us has a part to play. Yes. So when you look at the audience, we have quite a number of members of the National Unity Platform, the diaspora. The main part is to to bring to light what is happening back home, because they have the freedom and they have the background to do that. They do their portion. There is the grandma that was right there. She's
84 years old.
She is out here in her red doing her part. Coming back to your question, how would I not get the courage to play my part when there is different people playing their own part? I would have failed the whole group. So we play our part with faith, courage, which finally we have to your courage, because everybody is facing the challenges with so much courage. So we get the courage to each other. Oh, are we looking?
I think this is connected to what you just said, but for me, part of the film where music's very that's when I started crying. Actually, I when they're talking about the future and young people, the promise and hope. I know that there are parts of the film where people refer to the next generation, sometimes you refer to yourself with things like that, but what part of the music still they keep you going?
I would say the biggest part. There are so many people that have done what I'm doing. There's so many eloquent speakers, more educated, more experienced that are out there. But it is this music that connected me to the people, and historically, music has played numerous parts. So this music endeared me to the people, and this music has been a channel through which we pass our messages and people receive them. Even those that are political, they receive our message through the music, and even the courage and motivation it gives us. So music is our strongest form of communication, which keeps continuing. I would say without music, we wouldn't have gotten this far.
How have you felt about the international response to what's going on in Uganda, and maybe more narrative to the film?
It's two sides. First, I am thankful for the people internationally that have responded to our plight. Those that learned about our story and our plight in the newspapers, and those that have watched this film, we've had quite a lot of solidarity internationally, especially from the people. We're also thankful for the few statements every now and then that come, especially when there's extreme, brutality and oppression and suppression back home. We hope it was more. We hope that the international community holds Uganda to the same standards. We hope the international community sees African lives as valuable as other lives. We've always been calling to the international community, to help us by not being part of our operation. Uganda is a country that depends so much on foreign aid. Gen.M7 receives up to $1 billion from the United States. Our call has always been that please put conditions to this aid, because if you don't put conditions like respect for democracy, respect for human rights and the rule of law, you are only sponsoring our killing. You're sponsoring mass killing in Uganda. The response is yet to come, because we know that one day maybe the international community will be embarrassed by their money, sponsoring operation in Uganda and many other parts of the world. So yes, we continue to say that we're not asking you to come save us, but we're asking you not to sponsor our operation.
what's going on with you guys with the Ugandans?
The youth back home, the old and the young, are very hopeful for a brighter life. You know what Martin Luther King once said? He said that the arc of a moral society is long, but it always bends towards justice. We know that someday it may take so long, but every little injustice you saw in that film will find proper justice for it. That's for the youth hope. The young people are hopeful. For us, we are hoping that we will be alive to see the next day and the next week and the next month. You're going to translate this for me in English.
She says that we live every day the way it comes. We are like a chicken that belongs to a drunken man. He will be drunk and say, I'll eat this chicken today. Then the chicken man and say, I'll eat it tomorrow, and that chicken will live to see the next day. So that's how we live.
That's a terrible motivation. It's been so incredible to have you here. This is such an incredible film, I feel, and I hope everyone feels just really blessed to have heard the words that you have to say today. Really amazing. I just want to finish by saying, having seen this film and been incredibly inspired by it, what can we in this country, in London right now, do to support a free and democratic Uganda?
Thank you. Now that we're closing, I want to take this opportunity to thank the Ugandans, those that are in the comfort of a democracy like the United Kingdom. They could have just minded their lives because it's safer. Back home, even being captured on video, on camera, standing in an audience where I am can cause problems to you when you go back home or to your family. But the boldness that they show by standing with us, we don't take that for granted. Even the friends in the UK here, what can you do? We believe that you, the people in the UK, who have the luxury of having leaders that respect your will, you can help us. First of all, by keeping your attention on us. We live by I am alive today because of the tweets and the Facebook posts that come from the international community demanding for my freedom every time I am arrested. It keeps me going and it keeps our struggle going. Please keep your eyes on Uganda, but you can do much more than that. We believe that if you reach out to your leaders and ask them to reconsider their cooperation with Uganda, we appreciate the cooperation, but please put conditions on it. Conditions like respecting democracy, respecting human rights, and respecting the rule of law. That's not too much to ask for. What brings us together as members of the international community are those values, because we want to feel like human beings too. We are also first world citizens, only that we are stuck with third world leaders. And so if you reach out to your leaders and ask them to put conditions to the aid that they bring to Uganda, that would fundamentally change our lives. That would redefine us. And it would help you as well, because I've seen it many times in Europe and many other countries being inconvenienced by massive immigrants that run to these countries for greener pastures. Our countries are good and they are rich, only that they are poorly governed. So if you help us, then we will not be coming to inconvenience you. While you're helping us, you're helping yourselves as well. We would really, really appreciate. Thank you.
Bobi Wine on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and TikTok. Is verified on all those. And to know the importance of each one of you. In the audience, we have a one-time manager of Fela Kuti. He's called Ricky. He's seated right there. When Bobi was imprisoned in Arua, he made most celebrities sign a petition. And he just got the information from Bobi's Twitter. So you can also make a big difference when we are in big trouble by just keeping up with us. You can also follow me, my page.
Love everyone.
Thank you very much to Bobi Wine.
People power! Our power! Our power! People power! Yeah, no, non direi camera. Zite ko kuba ziri wabweru wali bwe tuyingirira. Omukulembeze Kamalo Mugoba. Just a minute. Oops. Excuse me. She went there.
Bruce, how are you?
I'm good, my dear. Tugeza kuba. Nakweje. Mwebale kwebereramu. Ye, mwembatira ddala. Ye. Yeah. Yeah. Chikuli munembera wala. Sembera mu bya ikigoberawa. Mwe muri ba mulanda nimo. Mwe muri ba mulanda nimo. Nze mbiri li mu kyale eri nga bweruzi Bristol. Nzija wende mbadde simusimeko. Musimeko bwolumu. Omukulembeze agenza ali bweru.
Kutaginga nnyo Twitter wansolo.
Yegwe wansolo. Banange webale nnyo muganda wange. Webale nnyo muganda wange. Yegwe wansolo. Webale taata webale.
Oziraba Twitter.
Oziraba. Ziraba taata. Mukulembeze waffe agenda. Mugano, mpola musizani. Mpola tugezaako. Mwebale kuuma mukulembeze waffe.
Ate mule wa incident.
Okitegera security tight. Mama Babi.
Oyaleta biruwa.
omukulembeze agenze ekyo nakyo kiwedde ekyo nakyo kiwedde mwebale tegeka bannange mukulu kato taati mwebale
tubadde mu mpewo
nze bwentyo bwenkola katambula olumala bwenti nga nkongerayo
Did you guys watch the documentary?
Yeah.
Will you be able to say a few words on camera for me? Yeah. Okay. If we just go over here towards the wall. Okay. Yeah, we'll do one more time.
That's cool.
Yeah, I've watched it before.
Tumaze okulaba documentary y'omukulembeze era omukulembeze agenze kakati n'olwekyo ngenda nange basiibulira wano mwebala babaddeko mwenna bannange koze omulimu gw'amaanyi okubeerako mwebale kusiima bannaye Shakira Tumusime Dina Vince Olivia Ochaya Taina Sereve mwena mwebale bannange Zahara Serunjoji Zakeri mwebale.
Yes.
All right, so okay.
They lost it.
I'm here. Kurukato, come here.
Finish him. Okay. You keep looking towards me.
Okay.
Okay. So, first tell me your name.
Ivan Bruce Sendege.
Tell me about the documentary. What did it mean to you?
Well, what it means to me is great. Is the fact that now the West knows what's really happening down there. This is actually a very good message in brief, showing what Ugandans people are going through on a daily basis. The violence, all the crime that are committed towards the people down there. So now, what I know, the British, I'm a British, I pay taxes, so which I knew that some of my taxes were sent to Uganda to support the regime. So now this is a good reflection and a good message to the UK government to really show them what their taxes, what our taxes do down there to the innocent Ugandans. So the most important thing is the message that now is spread, showing a real picture of what is happening in Uganda.
Thank you so much. That was great.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Banango oluzungu oluzungu ya kakati banaye ngenda basiibula baganda bange bagamba atava ku mulungi afazunga ngenda basiibula bannaye mwebale kubeerako ababaddeko manya Evan Bruce Sendege kama abawo